Hi everyone, welcome to this evening's demo day. My name's John, I'm one of the coaches here at Makers. This evening we have 3 presentations from the May 2023 cohort showcasing the projects that they've been working on for the last 2 weeks. Following the presentations, we invite you to stay for a Q&A session with myself and Nikki, who's our marketing and events coordinator. As many of you already know, Makers is a 16-week coding bootcamp that offers an intensive learning experience. Throughout their time here, our developers transform from having minimal or no coding knowledge whatsoever to being able to build full-stack applications from scratch. We firmly believe that anyone can learn to code. Just a few months ago, the developers you'll see tonight were in their first week here, learning test driving, pair programming, and object-oriented programming. Now they have the skills to build and deploy entire projects and are able to create products that they themselves would love to use. Working with this cohort has been an absolute pleasure, and I've been continually impressed by their dedication and eagerness to learn. They have all overcome many challenges to be presenting to you this evening. During our retro earlier today, we discussed the incredible progress the whole cohort has made over the past 16 weeks. Each week presented new topics and challenges requiring resilience and problem-solving skills, and everyone here rose to the challenge together. The past 2 weeks have been really great to observe, witnessing you take on and master so many new things while creating something brand new, completely from scratch. I'm genuinely thrilled for all of you, and I really hope you're immensely proud of the accomplishments you've achieved in the last few months. Without further ado, I think we should begin with our first team presenting, which is Team Matchat. They are here to help you find love one pillar at a time. Matchat, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. We want to introduce our exciting app, Matchat. It's a mobile app that will spark your love for architecture while delivering a dose of humour. So sit back, relax, and brace yourself for a delightful demo by Oz, showcasing our AI-powered chat app lines based on your location. So I'm going to do a bit of an intro of the app. Then I'm going to hand over to Oz, who's going to run you through a demo of the app. Azana is going to talk to you about our initial ideas and how we developed them. And Kush is going to talk to you about the technologies. And then Pega's going to conclude the presentation and cover our user design ideas. So let's get into the app. Next slide, please. So Matchat. It creates chat up lines based on monuments in your local area. So as I said, it's a mobile app and it's powered using AI technology. So we're using OpenAI ChatGPT. What does it do? So it uses your location, finds buildings in your local area and provides chat up lines based on these buildings. In terms of the target audience, it's tailored for architecture enthusiasts seeking a bit of romance. And it's great for individuals who are a little bit awkward in social situations. How do we see it being used? So maybe you just want to explore your own city, or maybe you're on holiday and you're looking for a little bit of romance. The good thing is the app can be used anywhere in the world. Some of the exciting features that we implemented is, as I mentioned, using ChatGPT, so OpenAI technology, location-based functionality, and a really cool swipe function. So I'm just going to hand you over now to Oz to run you through the app.
Hey, hello everyone. Going backwards. So my name's Oz, and I'm going to introduce you to Matchat, which is our lovely app for people like me who is a architectural enthusiast, and I was lonely and single up until I used this app. Thanks to this app, and I just can't wait to share it with you. So here is our splash screen, as you can see, and when you open up the app, it will load locations around you, so local monuments in the purple dots, as you can see. The orange marker is where you are, and if you even highlight over the purple dots, it gives you the name. And then the next thing you would do is, if you want to choose a building and see what they look like, you click the choose the building buttons. It then nicely loads beautiful pictures of the said monuments. So we have Freud Museum, Keats House, Berg House, Camden Art Centre. For this example, we are going to actually go through with Keats House. So when you prep Keats House, when you press it, it loads a very confident building chat up line, which you are free to use to someone. So are you Keats House? Because you've captured my heart with your timeless beauty. Let's build our own love story and make it an architectural masterpiece together. Now, the next part is really cool because it implements a feature that some may become very familiar with, which is a swipe feature. Some apps have a swipe feature, which, like I said, some people might be using. But this is the new one to use. So when you swipe, it loads a brand new pickup line. And it's even better than the first. So I'll read it out to you. Are you a beautiful architectural masterpiece? Because every time I look at you, my heart goes soaring like Keats House majestic roofline. Let's create our own love story amidst the pillars of affection and the arches of adoration. Hashtag love built to last. Now, here's an actual cool feature what you can do. If you press copy, you can also copy the actual text and send it in any format you wish. Or more typically, you can press the share button, which will also share through your favorite social media apps. And the additional feature, which is even better, is the custom pickup line. So if you simply type in the location of where you want, so for example, the Shard, and you press submit, it will load a really new quirky chat up line. So are you the Shard? Because just like this iconic skyscraper, you've reached the highest place in my heart. And if you use this app, I guarantee you your lonely nights will be over. So thank you for watching our demo. I'm now going to pass it over to Azana.
This is essentially the ideas that our group wanted to implement in our app. Some people wanted something specifically to do with location. Others wanted to do with travel. Others wanted something to do with dating. Pretty spread out. And in the end, we had to break down and narrow down our ideas and our wants and stuff to the essentials. Next slide. So we knew we wanted scrolling in our app. We wanted a swipe function as well in our app. We wanted an app that utilized the user location. So any information the user will get back will be based on where they are. We also wanted an app that connected people together because as a group, we believed that apps that did that were the best type. A few members in our group ended up sort of infecting the rest of us for the love of architecture, bringing the idea of love and buildings together. In the end, we concluded that we needed Google Maps and ChatGPT, the AI, to bring our app to life. This is Sarah Connor, and she sees you becoming friends with ChatGPT, and she is deeply disappointed. Deeply disappointed. She's been through so much and you're just out here betraying her. Anyways, I'm going to pass it on to Kushlan to talk about technologies.
Great, thank you. So from the get-go, our group decided that we wanted to work with technologies and languages we hadn't been using for our previous engineering projects. So this time we wanted to make a mobile app. So we used a set of tools which allowed us to write, one set of code that would work on Android and iOS. And our app heavily interacted with Google Maps and OpenAI, which brought new challenges that we hadn't been exposed to before. For example, we had to make sure all the information that we were receiving from different places would fit together nicely and be sent to the right places. And to some extent, at the expense of our aesthetics and stylings, we really prioritized making sure our code was high quality. And to do that, we wrote a lot of tests because we realized that if we were working on a real app in the real world, we'd be working with a lot of complex code. And because of that, you need to write a lot of tests for it, which is really time consuming, but we wanted to do it. And I'd say our group overall, we had a collective willingness to experiment with the code. So often in the evenings, people would work on seeing how they can create these functions. And in the morning, we'd present it to each other and review each other's codes. So I'll pass this on to Pega, who will talk about our design ideas.
Our goal was to provide a delightful user experience that sparks curiosity and fosters a deep connection with the architectural wonders around them. We strive to keep the app simple, user-friendly, and fun, making it effortless for users to explore nearby buildings while enjoying a dose of humor. Users can explore while being entertained by pickup lines generated by our charming AI. Sharing and copying these lines adds a social touch, fostering connection among users. Throughout our journey, we embraced efficient collaboration, tools like Trello and GitHub, following the agile methodology. We sprinted together, combining our strength to achieve milestones. Communication followed freely, leading to creative breakouts and a truly cohesive team. In conclusion, the Matchat project was a heartwarming adventure. The passion, dedication, and seamless teamwork were truly magical. Witnessing the app come to life been immensely rewarding. Matchat showcases not only our technical powers, but also the beauty of creativity and collaboration with the fantastic team. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Matchat. It's always cool to see the new ideas people come up with for using AI. This is definitely a new one that I hadn't seen before. Really good to see. Next up, let's meet Team Dev Dynasty. Their goal was to use the skills that they've learned to make a difference in the world, and their commitment to teamwork and learning has been really fantastic to see. Please welcome Team Dev Dynasty.
We'll just get set up here. Right, hi everyone. Today I'm thrilled to present you our innovative app called Community Cupboard, our product that we've been working on for the past couple of weeks. In a world where millions suffer from food insecurity, we believe our app is the beacon of hope to those who are in need. I'd like to formally introduce you to my team, Dev Dynasty. We have Noah, Della, Africa, and Abnor, who've put their heart and soul into this project. Together, we've been working extremely hard on creating something that will have an everlasting impact on hunger and promote a more sustainable and compassionate society. Thank you for joining us in our journey. I'd like to now pass it on to Africa, who will discuss our project aims.
Thank you, Shuaib. Our website, Community Cupboard, is a portal connected to a food bank to provide a seamless and inclusive delivery service. Our website has been designed with 4 primary aims in mind. Our first aim is to address the issues of food distribution and accessibility for vulnerable individuals and those who are disabled. Our second aim is catering to those with dietary requirements. We believe that everyone deserves to receive food that aligns with their dietary needs and cultural preferences. Another aim is to provide a helpful service to those in need. We all have a deep sense of empathy and compassion for those experiencing food insecurity. And our final aim is building a caring community. We wanted to foster a strong sense of community and engagement, encouraging individuals from all walks of life to participate as volunteers. Over to you, Della.
Thank you, Africa, for explaining about project aims. Let's move into our team values. Firstly, passion. Our team's genuine enthusiasm for Community Cupboard drives us forward, making the cause instrumental to our journey. Teamwork, collaboration, and mutual support are the cornerstones of our project, empowering us to overcome challenges together. With diverse backgrounds and coding skills, we really complemented each other perfectly. And embracing learning as a core value, we've gained new skills and new tools that contributed to our growth, which we will talk in a bit more detail later. And finally, banter and humor. Balancing work and fun, a friendly atmosphere really fuels our creativity, which makes our workplace enjoyable and productive. We'll now show you a video demonstration of our website. Hi, welcome to Community Cupboard website, where we bridge between the generous resources available at the food banks and those who could benefit from them, but perhaps face difficulties in accessing them. This is the main page of our website. You can sign up, log in, and on the packages page, you can view our different packages for singular support, our family packages, and our plant-based packages. I'm going to select a package, scroll all the way down to the bottom, review my package, and check out. Then you can review your orders on the orders page. To get involved, you can go to this page where you can find out more about volunteering. You can enter your details, tell us about your interest and your availability, and sign up. At any point while you're browsing the website, you can click on the logo of Community Cupboard. That will take you to the home page, where you can see all the relevant information. You can view our testimonials on the bottom of the page. And as always, you can contact us using the contact us form or from the top of the website. That's it for now. Thank you for your time.
Right, thank you very much for that, Della. Right, so now we're going to delve deeper into the technology stack and what we use for our project. So we use something called MERN, which stands for MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. And for those who are not familiar with those, just think of it as like building a house. So MongoDB is our database, that's our foundation. And then we build the backend, or in this case, the house with frameworks. So Express.js and Node.js form the backend, where we build our business logic and we take in the data and we connect that to our database. And for the front end, so what the user sees, we used React.js as part of our web applications. And alongside that, we use Tailwind CSS to make our project look a lot nicer, add in, a bit of spark and imagination to it. And we also used Frame Emotion, which basically adds a little bit of animation to static objects. So that's kind of what we delved into, and that's what we used. So I'm going to pass on to Noah now, who is going to talk about what went well with our project. Noah?
Thanks, Shoaib. Yeah, with regards to what went well, I think overall we had a great working relationship and gelled seamlessly from the outset. Using the experience we gathered from the previous group projects, we made it a conscious effort to foster an organic environment where each team member felt empowered to voice their opinions and take responsibility for different aspects of the project. We adopted a resilient approach to learning when encountering difficulties using the established values we established before. And we use that as a foundation for our workflow, allowing us to learn new technologies collaboratively and feed back to each other on our findings in scheduled daily stand-ups. We use a variety of tools and resources at our disposal for agile workflow. For example, resources in Google, and specifically MongoDB documentation. Using MongoDB Atlas was new to us, so we required a lot of extensive knowledge and research into the documentation. We also use team-oriented websites such as GitHub, Trello boards, and Excalibur to help visualize our ideas and also help with daily stand-ups and sprint planning meetings. I'll now pass on to Abnor, who explained what we learned.
Thanks, Noah. Hi, I'm just going to talk about a few things that we picked up as a team during the project. The first being is understanding how the front end works. I mean, initially we took an easygoing approach to the front end, but later we came to realize it's more than just styling. The front end includes a vast, intricate coding methodologies ranging from how an application interacts with the user to how data flows through various components to produce what we see, and thus create a seamless user interaction. The next thing we learned is how to create a full stack application. I can speak for the team and say that this was probably the most rewarding part of the project, which was being able to create a full stack application from scratch with minimal assistance. It was challenging, but it allowed us to put our problem-solving skills to the test and think critically, logically about each step of the development process, from designing the database schema to building a back-end logic and integrating it with the front-end. The project provided a comprehensive learning opportunity for everyone in the team. And lastly, we learned how to build our confidence in our coding abilities. This final project was an important milestone for everyone on the team. It helped us build confidence as coders. At the beginning of the project, I can say for all of us, we were doubting our abilities and wondering if we could even tackle such a complex challenge. However, as previously mentioned by the team, we showed resilience and determination, which pushed us to use all the resources we had to learn and how to structure a full stack project and find solutions to every challenge we encountered. After finishing this project, I believe all of us can agree that we have the confidence to work on similar projects or even improve this existing one, as we have many ideas for the future.
Right, thank you, Abnor. So in conclusion, this project has been an exciting journey of creativity and problem solving. I think throughout this process, we've learned valuable coding and collaboration skills, and we are proud of the result that we've achieved. We're eager to continue exploring new technologies and refining our craft. And we want to thank everyone that supported us and encouraged us along the way. We hope that we can continue to shape the digital world. So thank you very much for watching our presentation.
Thank you, Dev Dynasty.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's always really great to see ideas like this using tech as a force for good. It's really great project. Next up, we have Team Trail, who are helping people to discover the world around them.
Hi, we're Team Trail, and we're an app that allows you to discover the world around you. So this app was inspired by a trip that I took to Lisbon, and I went on a Segway tour. And I remember thinking how great it was that they'd managed to take the walking out of the walking tour. It was so much more efficient. I got to see so much more. But then I thought to myself, what happens if you had the guide in your pocket? What happens if you could go to anywhere in the city that you might be interested in and have a guided tour of those things, have the information that you want to find? And that's where this app came from. So when you open our app, you get this startup screen. And this is the start of what we're going to call the cascade of information. So at the top of that cascade, we ask for your locations permissions. So as you can see there, we've asked where you are and we've rendered a map, and this person is in Brighton. So we're going to press the Start Trail button. And the second part of our cascade of information is that we then call a service called Google Places, which brings back 5 nearest points of interest. So you can see here that underneath each point of interest, there's a distance in miles. That's how far that point is away from you. And that's the third part of our cascade of information. So we know where the person is, we know where the location is, and we measure the distance between the two. And these cards are ordered in that order. Then, with the information that comes back, they also come back with what type of monument this is. So we scrape that information out, and you now have a filter. So you can find if you're interested in churches, interested in museums, art galleries, museums, whatever you like. And then we're going to select David Bowie's street art here and go through to the next card. So as you look at scrolling down, you can see whether the monument is open for you to go and visit at the moment, how many stars it has on Google and how many reviews it's got. And then the next part of our cascade of information is we take the place and we send a prompt to the ChatGPT AI, and it brings up all of the historical information you want to know in the form of a tour. So the next part, the last part of our cascade of information, is we take that description and we send it to Google's text-to-speech AI. So that will now render an audio guide.
Welcome to our informative guide on the David Bowie street art located in or around 42 Trafalgar Street, Brighton.
And finally, if you're not quite sure how to find this monument that you're interested in seeing, you can scroll right down to the bottom, and if you click the more details button, you get a link that takes the coordinates that we took right at the beginning and passes it to Google Maps so that you can get a route to whatever monument you want to see. So next I'm going to pass to Sean, and he's going to explain the process behind how we made this.
Thanks very much, Joe. So I'm going to talk a bit about what we learned, and I'm going to start with teamwork and planning. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the way we divided up our tasks. So for this project, although we were all still involved in the decision making for all the features, we decided to specialize a bit. So some of us focused more on the server side of things to make things like location finding and text-to-speech work. And some of us focused more on the front end of the app, like design and getting it live online. Overall, that approach worked really well. We all felt like we got to spend more time learning things in depth and implementing better designed features. Secondly, in terms of planning, so you can see a screenshot of our Trello board here. So we use Trello to keep track of all our tasks that needed to be done. We were pretty good at creating the tasks, but about halfway through the project, we realized we weren't really sticking to what we'd put on the board very rigidly. So once we noticed that, we regrouped in one of our morning stand-ups and agreed a slightly new approach to prioritizing tasks. So we ended up color coding all of our tickets by priority. We had priority 1 to 3, and we all agreed that we would work on the priority 1 tasks first, because they tended to be the bigger tasks and the things that were blocking other people from being able to get on with doing other bits of code. Once we switched to doing it like that, we found it worked really well, and the second half of the project definitely felt more organized than the first half. And then lastly, in terms of kind of code review and merging, so we did a lot of pair programming. We also did a lot of solo programming for this. So every morning in our stand-ups, we reviewed all the code that everybody had written the day before. We discussed it, people explained kind of why they've done certain things. We reviewed the testing to make sure that it all worked properly. And then if we were all happy with it, we would like combine it into our main central code. That was quite a different approach to some of the previous projects that we'd worked on, where we kind of did much bigger blocks of code over several days, and then we tried to merge them all in one go. It's actually very hard to do that. So we definitely learned from our previous projects and just decided to do much kind of smaller, more agile merges as we went along. So that's pretty much it in terms of planning. I'm going to hand over to Jess now, and she's going to talk about the first phase of the project.
Thank you, Sean. So at the start of our planning stage, we realised that we had 2 main problems to solve that we would need to decide on the best solutions for before we even started to write any code. The first was that although our initial idea was to create a mobile application, we did want to make our website available to everyone on either desktop or mobile. And we also wanted to prioritize implementing the key features of our application rather than spending most of the time learning new technologies. So a decision we made very early on to solve this was that we would make a website with dynamic CSS to provide an app-like experience rather than building an actual mobile application. The second problem was that our project relied heavily on being able to return certain information, such as the user's location and places of interest within their vicinity. So we researched and tested different services that we could potentially use to get the information that we needed for our app to function properly. And we weighed up the pros and cons of these different services, such as features and costs, before making a decision on which ones to use. Once we had done that, we knew that we needed to decide on the key features that we wanted to have included in our application by the end of the first week. So we created a simple diagram of the user experience and how that would flow in order for us to visualize these features and come to decisions on what we would and wouldn't include. And it was after that that we then started coding and working towards the first version of our product. So I'll hand you over to Eugene, and he's going to talk a bit more about that.
Yes, thank you, Jessica. Our first basic version, or also called MVP, was actually built pretty fast in just a few days, and we noticed a very crucial oversight. We hadn't really set a finish line for it. So looking back now, maybe we should have set a clear endpoint and then moved on with the coding. But being at that point, we decided just to move on with the flow. So as we embraced the new direction, our journey revealed yet another layer of complexity, the necessity of server, or also called backend server. So initially, our first version of the project came into being without that server. So as we dug deeper with our research, it was clear for us that we need to implement this. And because a solid background server will be handling all of our interactions with external services like Google Maps or OpenAI or text-to-speech APIs. So it added a new aspect to our development process. But let's not forget, this wasn't just a technical journey. By the time we reached the project's second phase, we crafted a strong strategy for decision-making. Team discussions became more honest, focused, I would say. We debated a lot, we weighted pros and cons for the project, and even though we didn't always agree, we arrived at majority consensus and then wholeheartedly committed to the decided course. So in the very end, our journey deviated from our initial plans, but instead of resisting that change, we saw this as a chance to steer our project into a new direction. Our combined adaptability and dedication enabled us to shape Trail into innovative and user-friendly application as it is today. So now I'll handle back to Sean, and he'll tell you more about future aspects of Trail.
Thanks very much, Eugene. So here's a quick sneak preview of our next feature. So we've already built this. Once we finish testing it, we're going to launch it. It's going to let you save your favorite trails and share them with your friends. And our app is actually live now, so you can try it out yourself. If you just go to trailapp.net, you'll be able to discover the world around you right now. And as Joe mentioned at the beginning, it is a location-based app. So when you go there, you will need to share your location in order for it to work. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Team Trail. And thank you to all of the project teams from May 2023. I'm really happy for each one of you and the outstanding achievements you've accomplished in the last few months. I hope you're all immensely proud of yourselves. Working with you during your time at Makers has been an absolute pleasure, and I'm really excited to see where your journeys take you next. I hope you take this weekend to rest and celebrate your success. For now, I'm going to hand over to Nikki for our Q&A session. Please stick around in the audience if you have any questions about the Makers course, the coaching approach, or our curriculum, or the application process. Thanks again to May 2023, and have a fantastic weekend.
Amazing. Thanks, John. Yeah, thank you. On the back of what John said, yeah, congratulations, everyone. That was really impressive. And yeah, you've obviously worked extremely hard. So time to relax and recuperate, and yeah, you have a well-deserved rest after this. For you, those of you in the audience who are staying for the Q&A, I'm Nikki, I'm in the marketing team at Makers, and myself, John, and Inej from Core Sales will be on the call for the next 20-30 minutes, just answering any questions you have about the curriculum, application process, any of the tech that we use, tech stacks that we use, languages that we teach, basically anything we can answer you. If you just pop it in the Q&A box or the chat box, but preferably Q&A box, and we can answer that best as possible. I'll see if there's anything on just now. Okay. Hi, Inej.
Hey, how is everyone?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Amazing.
It's been nice to see the projects as well.
Yeah, so nice. Always very impressed. If there's no questions at the moment, I might sort of maybe run down the next dates of the course start dates. So our next one begins on the 4th of September, and that will be hybrid, but that will be a little bit longer because we have Christmas break. So I think that finishes on the 12th of January. And I think we have one question now, so I'll just pop on the Q&A. Okay, so Marion is asking, hello, are you still providing the 16-week bootcamp fully funded by the government? So yeah, we have just completed the DFE bootcamp. We do usually renew it, but I'm not 100% sure when the next one will be. I don't know, Inej, if you're got any dates on that one.
Yes, so actually the government-funded bootcamp will start again on the 4th of September and for the 30th of October. However, that has suffered some change in structure. So it's not going to be a 16-week long course anymore. So it's just going to be 8 weeks. So you'll do an 8-week foundation in software development with the other courses that also start on those dates. And then instead of going into the next 8 week of the specialisms, you can apply for apprenticeships through Makers, and the team would support you in that. Hope that answers the question, Marion.
Thank you. We have another question from Anthony who's asking, he says, the projects are awesome. My question is, how many of the individuals from the team had zero coding experience before joining the bootcamp? I suppose the sort of answer would be majority of them, no. Majority of them come from a completely zero coding background, and a lot of them are career changers. So, you know, there's no requirement for them to have any coding experience. However, a few of them have kind of dabbled in like Code Academy, you know, and things that sort of sparked their interest, but professionally, and majority of them have not. I don't know the exact number. I don't know, John, if you know.
You pretty much hit the nail on the head. Almost everyone in that cohort, this was their first experience coding, and if not their very first experience, like the experience that they had before would have been minimal self-taught stuff, playing around with code online, that kind of thing. But yeah, none of them had a coding background before this.
So someone's asking, it's great that the team are doing things for making the world a better place. Appreciate their work. Thank you to anonymous attendee.
I agree. I think it's really nice to see.
Great. Someone's asking, what support do you provide to the new developers during the program once they've graduated? So once our team has graduated, they will move on to our alumni channel, where we have a lot of career support. So we have careers coaches that will do workshops with them for CV building, interview skills, and we also have another team, a partnerships team, who basically it's their main job to get in touch with companies, connect companies with our devs. We have careers fairs, we have lunchtime talks, and lunchtime talks are basically when a company is hiring and wants to hire makers, and they come in and speak, and there's several roles open with that company. So you kind of go into this alumni bubble where, you know, you're sort of thrown into this, to lots of different events and workshops where it's all completely basically job focused and getting you a job.
Just to add on to that, during the program, you have a coach assigned to each cohort each week, and we have the materials provided there, and the coach is available in the mornings and in the afternoons to answer any questions, support if you have any struggles throughout the course, and also there to help if there's anything non-technical that it needs help with. I've just also noticed that we may have skipped over someone in the, I think Grace had their hand up in the attendees for a while. So if you have a question, Grace, I'm going to hit the allow to talk button now. Does that work?
Nice again. I will just type in my question since nobody, I thought that maybe my answer will not be recognized. So my question is that I've completed a bootcamp with your partner organization, CBF, I've applied to you for apprenticeship without getting a response. So with this September cohort coming in, should I need to apply for a boot camp? Because my purpose is to apply for apprenticeship with you guys. So what can I do? Because I really want to work. I've done a lot of courses Python with you in the past, and I'm just looking that, I mean, I'm really eager to come on this course and to start, because the coding I've learned, I don't want to forget it and I want to progress. So what advice can you do? I mean, can you give to me to come on this apprenticeship, or do I need to start bootcamp again with you guys before going on to apprenticeship? That's my question.
So from my understanding, so you applied for the apprenticeship, just so I know that we're on the right lines here. So you applied for the apprenticeship, but you would
last year.
You would be happy to do the boot camp, and you want to sort of.
No. My question is this: I've done boot camp before with a partner organization, and through them I was told to apply to apprenticeship last year, early this year, late last year. I didn't get through, and now that another boot camp is coming from your hand, I've completed, I graduated just yesterday with my certificate from them. Now another opportunities are open to your hand for apprenticeship, but you say that there's a boot camp before apprenticeship. So should I apply for the boot camp with you again, and now for the apprenticeship again? What can I do?
I think you're probably most you're better off applying for apprenticeships rather than doing the boot camp for sure. You know, we I think there's some sort of, and I don't know if you could correct me on this, but I know there's some sort of I think applicants who've done a previous boot camp might not be applicable for our boot camp.
For the apprenticeships, actually, it really depends. Grace, I think I remembered your name and I just had a quick look.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always in trouble for. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've been trying to get on board since then. That's why I'm not giving up.
That's fine. No, I can see that. And as you mentioned, you had a scholarship, you applied to a scholarship with CDF, so Coding Black Females. We still have spaces under that scholarship for fully funded spaces. So it's really up to you to have the application call and complete stage 1 of the application process and move along. So if you're happy to have an application call, we're definitely happy to move your application through for September or October as you wish. It's really
I think I want to go from the apprenticeship.
Right.
So the apprenticeship, that's what I'm looking forward to, the apprenticeship,
Right. So I think the best place for you to find one is definitely to go onto the Makers LinkedIn page posts and check if we have any apprenticeships currently available. If we do, apply straight from there, but then be mindful that you have that deadline to complete the coding resources that they ask you, okay?
Okay, then. Thank you so much. Yeah, all right. Then.
No problem.
Thank you.
So let's go back onto the questions and the chat. So Emily's asking, do you have apprenticeships available after this 8 weeks? And if not, there is an option to continue to.
I think this is about the DFE, the 8-week DFE course.
Okay. I can give some insights on this if you want. So basically, the apprenticeships don't run as regularly as the academy boot camps. So like we have cohorts starting from 8 and 8 weeks. And once we have apprenticeships come along, so as Nikki said, a partnership team, if we have a company who is interested to do an apprenticeship, we'll just incorporate on that specific cohort that is starting a couple of apprentices from that company. So for apprenticeships is really just going onto our LinkedIn page, because Nikki and her team, they post everything in there on any apprenticeship opportunities that we have come along with Makers, and is applying straight from there and see when is that starting and what you need to do.
Yeah, we've just posted one recently, which I think that closes on the 7th of August. So they're definitely a quick turnaround for the application process. I think definitely keep your eye on our socials, because that's where we first post it anyways, and then it's second to job boards. So yeah, keep an eye out.
Also for the DFE cohort, so this new structure for DFE is only going to start in September. So that's going to be our pilot on the 8th week, but I'll say that what the team has planned is that once you finish that foundation period of the 8 weeks, so you are on a pool then to be able to join an apprenticeship. So if you're interested on, and the team will put you forward for those once they come along. So it might not be straight away, you might have to wait a set period of time for an apprenticeship to come along. So it really depends.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so next Ben is asking, are there any social or networking events available evenings or weekends for those who do the remote program? So I suppose, Ben, you're wondering if it's, you know, that's a sort of chance to be a bit more involved on site. We do have, I suppose, like for demo days, we actually, most of the time we run them hybrid, which is a really great chance to meet the makers team and come into the office and sort of mingle with them and see everyone's, they do the project fair and you get to sort of chat to the students and everything that are there on site. So yeah, that we have those. We do have, I mean, I suppose we have quite a lot of events with other communities. So we do, there's like Code Bar that come to our office quite a lot to do, I suppose, like they have their meetups there. Sometimes they have workshops. But actual specific makers events, they are very specific, you know, it's mostly the demo days is the sort of social networking events where our devs come together. So, but if there is any other events, we'll always have them on socials. So if you do follow us on Instagram or LinkedIn or keep tabs on our Eventbrite, you'll be able to keep up with whatever we're doing. I hope that answers your question. Okay, Amelia, next 8 weeks software development. Yeah.
That was just a spelling error from the previous one.
Oh, okay. Next question. Is the 3-year living in the UK a requirement for apprenticeships? If so, why? And what's the way around it? And is you're probably best to answer this one.
For the apprenticeships, I'm actually not sure. I know that is a requirement for the FE, but it has mainly to do with the right to stay and work in the UK, or if you have a pre or settled status to be hired, so to work generally in the UK. But for apprenticeships, I'm not sure if that's like a cut requirement.
Yeah, we can look into that more for you. And also, if you want to get in touch with us, it's contact@makers.tech. I'll send out a follow-up email as well. So if you have any questions, you can just click reply, and we'll just find out any questions if you have any after this. So Amelia is asking, which part is in your office and which parts are online? So I don't know, John, if it's the same structure where it's 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Has it changed since the new curriculum, or is this?
Yeah, it's currently a bit of a mixture. It's very much dependent on each cohort, and it's kind of on a cohort by cohort basis. We have some which are fully remote, some where I think there's a couple where we're kind of legally not allowed to have people in the office. That might be a DFE thing. And there's some which are fully remote. That's the boot camp, and then the apprenticeships are typically remote, and the other bootcamp ones that aren't fully remote, the way that normally works is it's hybrid. And so there's some days, some weeks where you're encouraged to come in, some weeks where you're kind of not really expected to come in, but the office is available to you if you would like to. So it really, it depends on which course you're applying for and which start date it is. Is there anything you'd like to add, Ines? Did I cover it?
I can add, like for the FE cohort so far, they were fully remote, and that was a compliance thing. But from now on, they can choose if they want to be hybrid or remote. And for DFE specifically, for the first 8 weeks, if they choose to do it hybrid, 6 of those weeks are in office. So people just need to be aware that if they choose hybrid, they need to commit to all the weeks in office, and you really need to be there for those. For academy students, so the ones who pay for the course, it is the same. So first 8 weeks, 6 of those are in office. And if they choose the software development specialty, they have another set number of weeks in office. For any of the other 3 specialties we offer, those are all remote.
Amazing. So an interesting question actually, which I never actually thought about this answer is Anthony's asking, can you continue the 8 weeks with a boot camp if you decide to pay? So basically that's, I don't know if that's been decided. Is this something you know, Inej?
Yeah, we're looking into that currently and maybe opening the opportunity here for kind of a short course. Even once you finish the 8-week foundation, then you want to go into a specialty to be able to pay for that specialty. Currently not set up, but something that we're definitely looking for the future.
Yeah, I think because the change is very new, it's extremely fresh, so it's quite yeah, so I do apologize, I don't have all the answers now, but they will be communicated very soon. Okay, so Amelia's asking, if after the 8 weeks of DFE course apprenticeship will not be available, is there an option to pay and attend the phase 2? Also, that's the same question essentially. Yeah, so we hope we answered your question just there, Amelia. We don't know what the price would be or anything like that, but we'll definitely flag this with the team and try and communicate that as soon as possible. Okay, Grace is asking, can the task to be completed for apprenticeships be resent to me again? So if you mean, do you mean specific link for the specific apprenticeship, Grace? I think Grace raised her hand.
I think, Grace, probably your best bet for this is to send an email to contact@makers.tech and just explain the situation and what you need from us.
Yeah,
actually,
it's hard to deal with specific instances.
I would do it another way. Sorry, John.
No,
there.
no, please.
Grace, actually, you have a general email specific for the apprenticeship team. So apprenticeships@makers.tech. If you send them an email, they'll get back to you. They might take 1 or 2 days, but they'll respond and they'll be able to help you best.
Amazing. Cool. All right. I've not got any more questions now. If anyone has anything at all, don't be shy. There's no silly questions. Someone asked if there was a piano in the office once, and there is a piano in the office.
There's a guitar too, but I've never seen anyone play it.
There's bongo drums as well. There's a lot of things in that office. But like I said before, if you think of anything else that you want to ask, then yeah, just fire us an email and we'll get back to you on Monday. Okay, all right, I think that's it then for the Q&A. If no one has anything else, thank you so much for all your questions, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. Okay,
I think
was there
one question. Yeah.
Okay, Anthony, is that if you get an apprenticeship after the 8 weeks, will you continue with phase 2?
That's actually a good question. I think what Anthony is referring is continuing to the second set of 8 weeks on the course.
Boot camp.
Yeah. So as Nikki said before, this is something very new that we are going to start trialing now. But yes, so normally once we have an apprenticeship, they do the foundation bit, and they also go into the specialty of that company wants them to do a specialty in. So yes, then you just have the second set of 8 weeks on the specialty of that apprenticeship is the requirement, basically.
Yeah. I'm going to not cut anyone off too quickly now. I'm going to give it like 10 seconds. Going once, going twice. Okay, second time round. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And have a great weekend.